You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. Jo, as always, it's great to have you back here in the studio.
It's very nice to be here, Daniel. Thank you very much.
So I think you're going to talk a little bit about a summary of the event first.
Yes. The event is called Promenade at the Bandstand, and it's taking place on the 22nd of July from 1 o'clock. It is a joint event which is being run by Sheppey Promenade, Big Fish Arts and Leysdown Parish Council, and we're going to be running it on the Spinney, and the event is actually funded by Leysdown Parish Council.
So give us a bit more sort of background on Promenade.
Right, well, this is our 7th year of actually running Promenade, and Promenade is an arts festival for sheppey. So what we did, a small group of us created a not-for-profit charity, which is called Sheppey Promenade, to specifically run the Promenade Festival. The charity also runs Rose Street Cottage of Curiosities, which is a little museum, our art centre and a community space in Sheerness, actually in Rose Street. So, in sort of years gone by, we've organised a promenade parade in Sheerness, along with lots of other events around the island. This year, we wanted to recreate the feel of a traditional seaside show, and we thought that the bandstand at Leysdown would be the perfect place to do it, because it would be an ideal sort of opportunity to put something on that was going to happen at the eastern end of the island, rather than sort of tends to sort of happen around Sheerness and the local area around there. So that's the plan. We have got other plans for things for Sheppey Promenade next year that will be more island-wide, but this year we're concentrating on more local little areas.
So I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about what will happen, and perhaps a bit about the timetable of the event.
Yeah, it's on the 22nd of July, and it starts at 1 o'clock. And we're going to kick off with a group called the Abbey Ukulele Players, and they've got a very wide repertoire of songs that they play from different eras, and they also sing as well. And we've specifically asked them if they will do some really well-loved seaside tunes that will be in keeping with the whole event. They all the proceeds from their gigs go to their chosen charity, which is the Finvola Foundation, which supports people with learning disabilities who need nursing and palliative care at the end of life. And they told me that they've raised 2,200 so far, so that's very nice. So yeah, I think they will put on a very entertaining performance. You know, they've got a good repertoire. That will be followed on at 2 o'clock by the Big Fish Arts, and we're going to put on a comedy play. It's about the Dutch invasion of Sheppey. So it's a light-hearted, costumed reenactment, and it's basically celebrating the 350th anniversary of the Dutch raids on Queenborough and on Sheppey in 1667. It's very much done tongue-in-cheek, and I think you can expect some audience participation and not to be taken too seriously, so it's a bit of fun. And then at 2:30 it will be the UK Paper Silver Brass Band. Now UK Paper are actually based in Sittingbourne, and they have performed for us for Promenade. They're in their 4th year of doing this now, and they've always gone down very well. They play a balanced programme of varied music to suit different tastes. Their repertoire includes traditional marches, selections from popular musicals, pop songs, and some more unusual things as well. And we hope that they do a programme that's going to entertain everybody. Now, something a little bit more intriguing, perhaps, is in the interval and after the Silver Brass Band, we have a group called Rat Choc Chip. Rat Choc Chip was devised by a group called Beautiful Creatures, who brought us the very popular Octopot at last year's Promenade Parade in Sheerness, which really did keep the kids entertained. It went down very well.
So what is it then?
Right. It's not a performance that kind of happens on the stage as with traditional theatre. What happens is one performer will walk around amongst the crowds with her ice cream cart, avoiding the health inspector as her cart is infested with rats. The rats are puppets, which are operated by another actor who's concealed in the ice cream cart, and mayhem ensues. So that's the idea. The organisation that brings puppet shows like this are called Applause Rural Touring, and they're funded by the Arts Council. What they want to do, the aim, is to bring professional but fun theatre to rural places, and they subsidise the show. They've got plays, music, dance, and then in the summer they bring this kind of street theatre like Rat Choc Chip, and they tour fetes and festivals.
Been talking about the Rose Street Cottage of Curiosities. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about what's happening there.
Yeah, well, at the cottage in Sheerness in July, this month until the end of the month, we've got an exhibition in our gallery called The Extraordinary Life of John Oliver. Now, John Owen Oliver, who was known as Jolliver, was born in 1925, and he had short arms, no hands, and one good foot. But in spite of this, he trained as an artist, and he did numerous jobs, including farm work, bar work, and as a chef before he settled in Rochester in the 1950s. He ran a tugboat called the Hobbit around the Swale and Medway, and he had several artist friends, 6 of whom are now exhibiting together for the first time to celebrate his amazing life. We think that there will be folks from the island boat community that will have known him. His friend Frances Beaumont has known him since 1967, until he died aged 88 in 2014. She put together this lovely exhibition, and she's writing a book about their friendship and John's extraordinary life, having discovered these artists while researching the book. She's also giving a talk on Jolliver's life linked to the exhibition at Sheppey Little Theatre in Merrick Road in Sheerness on the evening of Saturday the 29th of July at 7 for 7:30. You can get tickets at Sheppey Glass and or at the box office on the night. In August, Sheppey Art Society are going to do their annual exhibition of artwork. And in September, we've got some quite big plans. We're registering as part of the National Trust's countrywide Heritage Open House events. This is going to happen on the 7th, 8th and 9th of September, and during this we've got special events planned. For children, we've got a curiosities trail to follow around the cottage, hands-on wartime cookery demonstrations in the scullery, and we've got costume characters leading visitors around the room telling stories about sheppey. We're also going to have a newly researched exhibition with photos and paintings by Janice Thornton. The show will be about ships' figureheads, put together by Jeremy Thornton. He'll be giving a talk on figureheads on Friday the 8th September, 7:30 to 8:30, and again on Saturday the 9th of September, 2:30 to 3:30 at the cottage. And you do need to book for this because we have a very small capacity in the room that we're going to use for talks, so it's a maximum of 12 people. Then, to round things off, anyone that comes to see us can treat themselves to a cream tea in the cottage garden, which is blooming beautifully now. It's really lovely. And our normal hours of opening are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 11 until 3.
To Jo, and she's talking to us all about Promenade at the Bandstand in Leysdown Spinney, and also been talking about the Rose Street Cottage of Curiosities. And I think there was an area you wanted to just quickly cover.
Yes, it suddenly occurred to me while I was talking about the Curiosities Trail and things for children to do. We have actually joined up with a scheme called Wheels of Time, and this is a badge collecting scheme for children aged 5 to 11. The idea being to encourage them to come into different heritage attractions, different museums, and learn a little bit about that particular attraction, and it earns them a badge. There are 25 different organisations around Kent, some of them in museums, there are some heritage railways, there are a number of different kinds of attractions, so there's 25 of them, so there's 25 badges for children to collect, and they can go around each attraction and get a badge at each attraction. What also happens is that they can then collect a certain number. If they collect 10 badges, they then get a silver badge. If they collect 20 badges, then they get a gold badge, and an opportunity to sort of say, I've done this and that, and it's really nice. As a kind of a joint thing with that, quite a few of the attractions have joined up with something called Kent Children's University. Now this is where a child can have what they term a passport, so they can do something like the Curiosities Trail, they can learn something about the history, and they can have their passport stamped, and then once they've completed the different activities, then they actually graduate from the Children's University, so they have a little ceremony, and it's kind of a way of helping to encourage kids to come into the attractions and to learn something about their local area and have some fun in the process.
So what are your plans next year?
Well, next year we've got funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund to do background research and to look at what kind of work the women of Sheppey did during World War One. We think that this has been a kind of forgotten area which has significance in relating to the history of the island. So that's something that we'll be working on next year, and we'll be designing promenade events that will reflect that heritage and that history of the island.
Before you go, Jo, if you could just refresh our listeners about Leysdown and the dates and, of course, any useful contact details.
Yes, the promenade at the bandstand is on the 22nd of July, and it starts at 1 o'clock. And the contact details, I've got contact details for the various different groups in case other people perhaps are interested in contacting them. So the Abbey Ukulele Players, you contact Janet on 01795 530 854. For the UK Paper Silver Brass Band, you can book the band through Mark Hinchliffe, and he's 07794 989 241. And general inquiries are an email, generalinquiries@ukpaperband.co.uk. They meet Wednesday evenings at the UK Paper Leisure Club in the Avenue of Remembrance in Sittingbourne from 7:30 to 9:30. For anything to do with big fish, contact Chris Reed on 07775 712 306. And for Rose Cottage of Curiosities and Sheppey Promenade, for booking talks and information, you can either email thorntonsminky34 at gmail.com or call Janice Thornton on 01795 873 491, or again Chris Reed 07775 712 306. Additionally, for the John Oliver talk at Sheppey Little Theatre, Sheppey Glass is their box office, so you can call them to book tickets, and it's 01795 500 775, or get tickets on the door. We also have Facebook groups for Rose Street Cottage of Curiosities and Sheppey Promenade, and we have a website for Rose Street, www.rosestreetcottage.co.uk.
Jo, as always, thank you very much for coming along. It's great to have you here once again.
Thank you for having me on your show, Daniel. I've really enjoyed it.
That is Jo talking to us all about the promenade at the Bandstand in Leysdown on the Spinney, and letting us know what's happening at the Rose Street Cottage of Curiosities. All right, here at the Monday Night Community Show on BRFM with me, Daniel, this evening.